Hi, my name is John Costello. I'm the founder of MonyWize, and I'm excited to introduce you to a very close friend of mine who's going to have a huge impact on your future. Iain Bratt, thanks so much for joining me today, my friend.
John, it's a pleasure to be here.
Fantastic. Well, folks, we're going to get into Iain's background and how we met, and obviously what he's doing here with MonyWize. But I want to start off by saying he's on a short list of maybe 5 people that I know in my entire life that fits the profile that you need running your company. And what I mean by that is Iain's background is accounting. I'm a math guy, his background is accounting. I want you to do me a favor, just share with the folks your background from the accounting and financial place.
Well, thanks, John.
Please.
I first got into accounting in the mid-80s. My original career choice had been engineering, but I managed to escape that, and my line of study was accountancy. My degree is in accounting. I earned that in the United Kingdom. I'm a fellow of one of the British accounting institutes. And I spent a number of years in a CPA office dealing with corporations and businesses. And then I managed to escape that and got into the real world. And it's great to be here.
Fantastic. And not only does he have the financial background, you've had a pretty distinguished career the last 3 decades, literally almost the exact opposite side of the coin of me. I don't want to give away the thunder, but you've got an impressive background. Would you share with the folks what you've been doing for the last 27 years and where you've spent it, please?
Well, that's kind of you to say, John. I began in the multi-level marketing industry in 1989. I was employed as a financial controller by a fairly large multinational company, a nutritional manufacturer, and I was posted in the United Kingdom, my home country. I was with that company for 10 years, which is a little bit unusual in our industry for people at C levels and senior management to stay with companies for a particular long period of time. So in 1999, I was appointed the Chief Financial Officer of a manufacturing company in Southern California. Within a year, they asked me to be the Executive Vice President, and I was with them until 2014. So I spent the majority of my time in nutritional manufacturers that also happened to be in the MLM industry. So this gave me an opportunity, John, to represent my employers and the companies at various levels within trade industries and within legislative organizations and of course matters that concern legal and taxation times.
That's fantastic, and I'm going to tie this all together. There's a reason why I'm starting off with these questions. So is it safe to say that much like I'm a math geek, you're a numbers geek too?
Oh, absolutely.
Very important, because MonyWize is not a nutritional company. It's a financial software platform where it's important that the guys that are running the company kind of understand math and we're not just kind of guessing at things. And I really wanted Iain to share his background because obviously the background in accounting and working in a CPA firm and then working in the network marketing world as specifically a CFO and executive vice president. Safe to say that you've had a lot of very successful experience in the managerial C-level organizational part of network marketing?
I would say so, John. It seems to me that if we are able to create an infrastructure, and as that business changes by scale and grows, provided that skeletal structure is already in place, then it's very easy for us to grow without incurring any tremendous pains, that we can be effective, that we can be efficient. And getting back to the numbers side of things, we know that whatever we do, that when that performance is measured, that performance improves. And people can improve as associates by seeing their checks increase. That's the absolute acid test to see how well their business is progressing.
Absolutely. And it's funny because I've said this for years. Since making the transition from field rep to consultant to corporate officer, I've always said, you know, corporate has just a handful of rules or a handful of jobs. One is to create a stable company, make sure that the company can exist financially, make sure it's legal so that the company can stay in business and not, you know, cross over lines of compliance, and make sure that the reps get paid accurately and on time. Fair assumption that those are the 3 biggest roles or goals of a company in the MLM space?
I would say so. If I could draw an analogy to you,
please.
I would suggest that it's like the corporate is represented by one individual and the field by another. and we're sat side by side in a rowing boat, each with us with a hand on an oar. And as we're stroking those oars across the water to propel the boat forward, we have to be in synchronicity.
Right.
We have to be pulling the same way to make sure that that track is followed. It's the responsibility of people in my position from a corporate perspective to ensure that we have the core functionality that supports the field. The ability to make sure that the genealogies are correctly and accurately recorded, to make sure that the purchases when individuals are purchasing our product are accurate, that their credit cards are charged correctly, and that we can follow the correct manner in which the infrastructure functions. And then additionally, we need to make sure that everybody's commissions are paid correctly too, together with all the other functionalities that would take place from this core corporate responsibility, whether they be legal, whether they be regulatory, state and federal, just to make sure that everything is run in the way that business should be correctly run.
And if you can't tell, I've got a gigantic smile on my face, because if you don't know me, I'll make it real clear. I have a few strengths and I have some glaring weaknesses. And what I have learned is, if you want to be successful, recognize and acknowledge your weaknesses, and then find the absolutely best person to fill that gap, to fill that void, and to structure against your strengths. And one of the things that I love about Iain, and trust me when I tell you this, he's not sitting here because I didn't know. He's sitting here specifically because over the last year and a half, we've literally been side by side through a storm. And we went through a storm and came out on the other side, so I know what he's made of in the worst of times. And I'm saying this with a compliment, because so many people are good when things are easy, but you hit a bump in the road, you hit the storm, and they fold. This guy stood strong, kept everything moving forward, to the point where when I started this company, it was simple. As soon as I realized that he was available, I reached out to him and I said, listen, do me a favor, think about this, but I want you to come on board and I want you to be a part of this. And I asked him, based on his background as a CFO and an executive vice president and someone who I know can do anything that needs to be done at the C-level area in the network marketing world, if he would come over here and fill the void that I will never, ever be able to do myself. So it's with tremendous, tremendous excitement that I want you all to hear me carefully when I say this. Iain came on board as a consultant with MonyWize, and we did that for a little while.
Yep.
And I said, evaluate the company, evaluate the product. You and I are already tight as friends, and if it's not for you, we're still going to be friends. But evaluate the network marketing side of this, the product. Evaluate the comp plan, evaluate the marketing plan, and give me your honest feedback as a professional and an executive in this industry. So I want you to tell the folks honestly how you feel and why you're sitting here today, because I don't want to put the words in your mouth. I want them to hear from you why we're sitting here.
It'd be a pleasure to do that, John, honestly and sincerely. It seems to me, in my 27 years in this industry, that companies that are strong have three major components. First of all, they have a product that works, that is good, that is worth the money, and that is consumable, meaning that there is an end customer, an end user that can actually enjoy that product, as well as it appealing to the field. And that's the second element. We have to have our associates be able to earn. We need to have a compensation plan which is exciting and dynamic, that is a catalyst for people to advance their businesses. It needs to be a compensation plan where people can see a career path. It needs to be a compensation plan where people are rewarded for their behavior, and that opportunity to earn also has a residual component, that we're building something which is that is time tested and that will last a long time. And the third element that any successful company needs is people. We need to have the right people. The greatest asset of any company in our industry is not one that can be listed on the balance sheet, because it is the capital that exists in the talent and the ability of the people. And those people, it could be subdivided into two groups. It could be the field and the field leadership, and everybody that takes place within the downline, but it's also from the corporate side as well. Jim Collins, in his book Good to Great, uses the example of a bus, and having the right people in the right seats on the bus. And we need to make sure that everybody's in the right place doing the right function. One of the things that attracts me to MonyWize is I know that what I can bring to the party and be able to bring as my talents and my skill set. I also know yours, and frankly, I know Angelo's as well. And so from that perspective, I feel that both in terms of the product, in terms of the compensation plan, in terms of the corporate people, and also in terms of some of the weird, wonderful, I nearly said weird.
They are weird. That's all right.
Let me backtrack. In terms of the field people, the leadership, the people who we are already talking to, we have that right component. And I sincerely believe that as we add all those things up, as an accountant or a math guy do, we find that we're in that unusual situation where it becomes greater than the sum of the individual components. We have the ability to achieve so much more together. And I'm excited about that.
And I appreciate that. And I want to speak to the audience, and I want you guys to feel this because, you know, I was at a crossroads. I didn't really want to start my own company, but after doing exhaustive research, there just still, after 3 decades in this industry, there wasn't a company that I felt was good enough for the average person to build a long-term home. And it's not a knock on anybody else, it just is what it is. I've been doing this for 3 decades. There's some good companies out there, but they all have the deficiencies, and I finally made a decision, all right, I have to do what I have fought doing for 3 decades, start my own company. And I told everybody it was very simple. I had a decade-long experience and relationship with Angelo Rodriguez, and I called him and I said, I only want your product. If I can't get your product at a price point where we can bring it into the network marketing world, bring it into that home-based business network marketing world where everybody that wants it can afford it, then I'm not ready to start my own company. And thank God Angelo and our relationship was tight enough that he believed in what I've done because of our relationship over the last 10 plus years, that we actually had the product. So I know what I can do building a network market. I've been sales and training, I've been a field rep. I have no fear of building a huge network, but we needed to have the right product, and we got that with Angelo. But as much as I will absolutely say, I know how to train and develop a sales force, I also know I have no clue how to run operations or anything that has to do with corporate management. It's not my strength, it's never gonna be my strength. But over the last 2 years now, 1.5 years of really getting to know this guy and working side by side, and like I said, weathering the storm, I knew that I had in that relationship the piece that was missing to make this work. I didn't know if we were going to be the right fit for him. I didn't know if that he was going to see in me or an opportunity a home for himself. But because he decided that it was, I want you to know that for every bit that I believe this is the right compensation plan, it's the right product, that we have the right training, it's the right system, everything is in place. I believe 100% in the same exact intensity that we now have a corporate management that is second to none, that will make sure that the company, my job is to push. We do this all the time. I'm sales and training. I'm Maverick. I'm going to push this thing as hard as I can with the promise that I will allow him to rein me back in when I get near the line. Because we have to stay legal and we have to stay profitable to keep the doors open for your opportunity. But we've worked well enough together that he knows where I'm going to push and where he's going to pull, and we're going to find that strike zone, and we've already done this. So here's the bottom line. Iain was coming on board as a consultant. I've asked him to take a C-level position. Right now we're just going to call him the CFO. But very, very soon, and I don't want anybody to take this the wrong way, very, very soon I want to take the CEO hat off, because if anybody wants to sit down and talk to the CEO, I will never, ever be in an office at a desk. Have you ever known me to be at an office or a desk in my career?
John, I've never seen you wear pants before.
There you go. John Costino is and always will be field rep in his brain. So for my entire corporate career, I've never had a desk in an office. And it's always freaked people out because they didn't understand my job is out in the field. My office is your living room, is your kitchen, and I will be moving around, building and developing the teams with you. But we now have an anchor, a solid piece of granite to build our corporate team from. And very soon you're going to have the formal announcement. I'm going to leak it here, but very soon, and you might be watching this video after we do it, your new CEO, the CEO of MonyWize, will be Mr. Iain Bratt. I'm not giving up control. I'm handing over the reins so that you have at the helm at corporate the person that you want dealing with legal, with compliance, with the programmers, with what else do you do? With making sure the check runs are accurate and on time. You don't want me doing that. Where do they want me?
You need to be in the field, John. Your strength, Your strength is to be out there in the field, to be a resource to the people. I'm here to serve the people too. I'm here to assist in any way that I can. But in real terms, you're there, out there in the field. You're there as the founder promoting this wonderful opportunity and this wonderful product. And if I could say something about the product, if I may,
Please,
John.
absolutely.
One of the things that makes me excited about the product and what Angelo has been able to achieve, I came from 25 years of nutritional manufacturing MLM. And it's fair to say that there are some people that need it, and there are some people that don't, and there are some people who don't know whether they do or not. There are other companies in our industry, such as cosmetic companies. At the end of the day, they are all wonderful companies, but they don't necessarily have a product offering that everybody needs. Now, the reality of the situation is, unless you are living in the Amazon forest and are bartering in some manner, everybody here needs money. Is money the root of all evil? No, it's the use of money or the desire for it. Is money important? Well, it's up there next to oxygen. And so at the end of the day, how we manage our finances, both within our families and personal, is something that applies to every single person who is an adult who is able to use money. And so I can't see anybody who may turn around and say, I don't need this diet product. There may be somebody who says, I don't need this nutritional product, or I don't need this lipstick. But everybody needs to be a custodian and financially responsible for their own funds. This product clearly has an appeal for everybody. I'm grateful that you've been able to say such wonderfully complimentary things about me. Thank you very much. I feel very humbled. And it's my opportunity to dedicate myself to my time, my talents, and in a humble way to be a servant to you as the founder and to Angelo and to the rest of the field. I'm here to serve. Thank you for this opportunity, and you have my commitment.
I already knew that, and that's why I didn't even want to let you know that we were going to make this announcement on video. I'm really excited because this was the missing piece. I know we have a home run with the product. I know we have a home run with the comp plan. I know we have a home run with the opportunity, but I didn't know we were prepared as it grows to manage on the corporate infrastructure side, because it's not my strength. But it was real easy. Once Iain said, I love what you guys are doing, I want in, that I had that person. And I'm going to ask him to say this on video, because I said to him, I said, do me a favor, just go through and do your own profile analysis. I want you to tell me what the experience is, because I know that in your career as both CFO and executive vice president in nutrition companies, that we've eliminated some of those tasks where you don't have to worry about the testing and all the different ingredients and all the stuff that goes along, because I did that as well with a couple nutrition companies. And there's just, we'll just say, tedious tasks. This one was pretty simple. Fill out your profile, click submit, make sure it works, and then we can go out there and teach other people. So what was your experience just as a consumer filling out your profile?
Well, I'm glad that you asked that, John. One of the things that I would say is that very often from an accounting perspective, an accountant is a person who solves a problem that you don't know you have in a way that you don't understand. And it's trite for us to say that. I was able to sit down at home, at my desk, at my table, and to log into the software and to use it as if I were seeing it for the very first time, to have a real life experience, to be able to fill out my own financial analysis, to be able to have my documents ready and to enter them. I was pleasantly surprised how easy it was to use the software, how intuitive it is, how the ability to scroll the mouse across to the question mark just to clarify exactly the information that needed to be entered. And it wasn't a headache, it wasn't a difficulty. It is significantly easier, in my opinion, than, say, the products that we may use to do our own taxes, for example. I found the product to be very simple and easy to use. I like the concept as well that it creates a discipline. I like the idea that by being responsible for our own finances, that we have this opportunity to make such a significant difference in reducing our debt, and therefore being able to use that reduction to accelerate our wealth. And so from that perspective, it's a home run.
Folks, that's the beauty of this program. It's simple, it works, and I can do it. And I asked Iain to do that because from the top down, Angelo is obviously sold on the product. He created it. He's had the longest experience with it as anybody. I've had the ability to watch it grow, to learn a little bit just as a friend of his and to see it happen. And Iain coming on board, I wanted him to have that same comfort, that same passion for what we're doing. So I just want you to understand, at this stage of the game, all the pieces are in place. We are here, we're here to stay, and we're here to change the industry once and for all for good, to create an opportunity for the average person to get started, to break even and to turn a profit, and more importantly, to build that long term, whatever that is. We're not here to promise fame and fortune. We're here to say, you know what, you have a legitimate shot. And before we close out, obviously you've had extensive career in the industry, as have I. We've seen a lot of things, some of which we understand, some of which we don't understand, some of which we think could be done better. I'm making this pledge, and I'm going to let Iain speak very, very candidly with you. My goal is not to be right. Some of you think I always think I'm right, but I promise you, my goal is to create the best opportunity for everybody. And that means I'm going to push as hard as I can, but I've already given Iain full authority to, if he sees something that can be improved, don't sit here and worry if he's going to hurt my feelings or if I'm going to get upset. My goal is not to be right. My goal is to create the best opportunity that's ever hit the industry of network marketing and home-based business. So any parting thoughts that you have for the folks, but all I can say is welcome aboard and thank you for all that you're doing, my friend.
Well, thank you, John. I think one thing I would like to say is that clearly as technology advances and as we're able to bringing new elements, that obviously we will be looking to those. We want to make things as easy and as efficient to the users as possible. And so clearly we will be looking for improvements, and clearly we're here to serve as well. And we're here to be able to be approachable. I would like to hear from people. I really want to be your servant. I want to help you to be successful. It has been said that no company in our industry can be successful unless the field are successful. I sincerely and honestly believe in that. And I think there are plenty of examples, both positive and negative within the industry, where that adage has proved true. I want us to be in a situation here where going long term, and I'm thinking in terms of decades, we have an opportunity and a product which people need, will continue to need. And I sincerely believe that we are here at the right place and at the right time, and the future looks fantastic. Thank you, John.
Absolutely, no, and the reason I wanted him to talk is I want you to understand, I mentioned at the beginning, I could count on one hand the people that have these ingredients. He's a math nerd just like me. He's organizationally, he's exceptional, but he's got a heart for the people, and that's what most people don't get. When you deal with somebody who's as strong in the math and the numbers side of it, they don't get the people side. And that's not a rip on any of you that I've worked with in the past, but they don't understand network marketing is about people. It's the people business.
Absolutely.
They're stuck in the numbers. And I love that about Iain because he's not stuck in the numbers. He handles the numbers. That's his strength. But you know what the biggest problem is going to be? Keeping him out of the field. Because this guy loves people as much as he loves numbers. And for those of you that have met him, he's a ton of fun to be around. He loves the network marketing side of this business as much as he understands and loves the organizational and the mathematical side. And that's what makes him so special. So it's not an accident that we have Angelo Rodriguez. If you've watched the video interview that we did, he's not just a genius when it comes to the financial wizardry. He's not just the creator of the software. He cares about people. That's why he made the ultimate sacrifice and said, I've already got a very successful model. Why would I change it for you? He's allowing us to bring this product for the very first time into network marketing as an opportunity for a fraction of the cost. $29.99 per month. We're going to call it 30 bucks, but it's available, $30 a month for the masses. And that's only because he cares about people. If he cared about money, he would just stay where he's at and he'd say, hey, this is how we do things. So when you got a guy with a 10-year track record, willing to think outside of the box, he cares about people. Now I've got a guy, again, 3 decades, very successful corporate level experience. He could go anywhere. Why is he choosing us? Because he cares about people and he understands the vision. So the bottom line is, are we here to change the industry? Yes. How are we going to do it? One person at a time. Thanks so much for watching. Iain, thanks so much for coming on board, my friend.
Thank you, John.
You
Pleasure
got
to be
it.
here.
It's your money. Spend it more wisely.